Behind the title of space travel lies a deeper motivation. The belief that space expansion will save the future of humanity. Whatever you think of the current generation, priorities, personalities, wealth, attitudes towards inequality or climate change, there is no denying that progress has been made. Could it be left to future generations instead of us? Perhaps, but that does not make our contribution worthless. In this video we bring you 10 answers from scientists from different fields on how they see the future of our civilization. Does humanity have a future outside the Earth? I think it is a dangerous misconception to predict mass emigration from the Earth. Nowhere else in the solar system are there such good conditions as even the summit of Everest or the South Pole. Here we have to deal with world problems. However, I guess by the next century there will be groups of privately funded adventurers living on Mars and then maybe elsewhere in the solar system. These pioneering settlers should certainly wish good luck in using cyber techniques and biotechnology to adapt to the alien environment. In a few centuries they will become a new species. The posthuman era will begin. Travel outside the solar system is an endeavor for posthumans, organic or inorganic. When and where do you think we will find extraterrestrial life? If there is ordinary microbial life on Mars, I guess we'll find it within 20 years. If the extraterrestrial life form is very different from what we have here on Earth, it will be difficult to detect. It is also possible that all surviving Martian microbes are rare and located in places that are difficult to reach by robot. Jupiter's moon Europe and Saturn's moon Titan are more attractive places. Europe is a water world in which more complex life forms may have evolved. And Titanium is probably the most interesting place in the solar system to search for life. It is rich in organic molecules, but it is very cold and has no liquid water. And if life exists on Titanium, it will be very different from life on Earth. Will we ever understand the nature of consciousness? Some philosophers speak of the impossibility of ever understanding the nature of consciousness, of subjectivity. However, there is little reason to accept such a devastating speech. There is reason to look forward to the day, not so far away, when science will come to a naturalized, quantitative and predictive understanding of consciousness and its place in the universe. Will the whole world one day have adequate health care? The global community has made tremendous progress toward health in the last 25 years, but this progress has not reached the most remote communities in the world. Deep in the rainforest, where people are cut off from transport and mobile networks, mortality is highest, access to healthcare is most limited, and the quality of care is the worst. If the global community is serious about providing access to healthcare for all, it must invest in health professionals who can reach the most remote communities. What is the chance that Homo sapiens will survive for the next 500 years? I would say that there are great chances for our survival. Even major threats, nuclear war or environmental catastrophe, perhaps due to climate change, are not existential in the sense that they would wipe us out completely. And future technological advances, in which our electronic offspring surpass us and decide that they can live without us, can be avoided by excluding them. Could we one day replace all the tissues in the human body through engineering? In 1955, Joseph Aiken and I wrote for this magazine about advances in artificial pancreatic technology, plastic-based tissues such as artificial skin, and electronics that could allow blind people to see. All of this is accomplished either as real products or in clinical trials. Over the next few centuries, it is quite possible that almost every tissue in the body will be replaced by such approaches. Creating or regenerating tissues like those in the brain, which are extremely complex and poorly understood, will require a tremendous amount of research. We hope, however, that research in this area will happen soon enough to help with various diseases. Can we feed the planet without destroying it? Yes, here's what we need to do. Reduce crop waste, consumer waste and meat consumption. Integrate appropriate seed technologies and management practices. Engage consumers on the challenges that farmers face in both the developed and developing worlds. Increase public funding for the socio-economic and environmental aspects of agriculture that characterize sustainable agriculture. Will we ever colonize the universe? It depends on the definition of colonization. If the landing robots qualify, then we have already done so. If that means sending microbes off the ground and they survive and maybe grow, then unfortunately, it is unlikely that we did that too. If it means that people live somewhere else for a long period of time, but not to reproduce, then it is something that could happen in the next 50 years. But if the idea is to build a self-sustaining environment in which people can survive indefinitely with only modest help from the country, working definition of the colony, according to various European colonies outside Europe, then I would say that this is very far in the future, if at all possible. Will we ever discover the twin Earth? I believe we will. We have discovered that the planets around other stars are much richer and more diverse than scientists thought just a few decades ago. We have also discovered that the key ingredient for life on this planet is water, actually common in space. I would say that nature seems to have put the spit together in favor of a wide range of planets, including Earth-like planets. We just have to look for them. Do you think that one day we will be able to predict natural disasters such as earthquakes with warning times in days or hours? Some natural disasters are easier to spot than others. Hurricanes approach days, volcanoes often develop to erupt during the data hours, tornadoes strike within minutes. Earthquakes are perhaps the biggest challenge. What we know about earthquake physics suggests that we will not be able to predict earthquakes days in advance. But what we can do is anticipate the harmful shaking of the ground just before it arrives and provide a few seconds to a minute of warning. There is not enough time to get out of the city, but there is enough time to get to a safe location. In the end, it has not always been the case that the priorities of space explorers and environmentalists have been misaligned. Images of the Earth as pale blue dots have helped to show what is worth preserving on our planet. But wherever we end up, that future will be shaped by future civilizations of the Milky Way with their priorities and desires. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe to the Secret Kiaochu channel for more videos like this.